All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to do something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time, but have been waiting for a product like this in order to do it. And that's to do a multicolor carbon fiber print. So, I've seen on Bamboo's website where in the Filament pages, you can see where they've done multicolor with like the PLA carbon fiber with just normal PLA and everything. But I thought it would be cool to do two colors of carbon fiber in a print and do that. But one of the things that you need to do is dry the filament. And if I were to use my X1C to dry the filament, that's nearly 16 hours of drying time that I would need to do in order to dry both of those filaments. And if I even needed to do more than that, then we're increasing the time, because for my environment, it's right around 8 hours of drying time for each of the filaments, for those carbon fiber filaments that I need to use. So our friends over at Fixdry sent me this. So this is their filament dryer, and you'll see that it only has one spool on there, but that's one extra large spool, or the 174 millimeter wide spool. But this will actually hold two of the normal spools that we use in our AMS or for printing with our Bamboo. So I thought it would be really cool to dry two colors of the PLA carbon fiber in this and do a print with it and see how it works out. I always would recommend these filament dryers over doing it in the Bamboo. Number one, I think a few viewers have told me that you don't get to print on your printer while it's drying filament. So having an external filament dryer also helps with that as well. Now the ability to do multiple spools makes it even better. So in today's video, we'll go over setting up the filament dryer, putting two rolls of the carbon fiber in there, drying it, and then we'll go ahead and do one of those multicolor prints with the PLA carbon fiber. So if all that sounds good, then sit back and relax and I'll get everything ready. All right, so here we have a roll of the black PLA-CF as well as the red PLA-CF, both from Bamboo Lab. And both of these recommend drying at 55°C for 8 to 12 hours. And I found that here in my climate that the lower end of that works. So what I'll do is I'll get these loaded inside of the container here, and then we'll go ahead and set this to 55°C for 8 hours to dry both of these rolls at the same time. So let me get these loaded and we'll get that set up. All right, so now let's turn it on. And then we'll hit this button to bring up the menu. We'll change this to 55. Switch over to here. It's already set up for 8 hours, but we could use this button to adjust that. And now we are good to go. So this will show the temperature that it's currently at, and then the humidity that's inside of here. And I will say this lid is a little tricky to get on, but it has a really snug fit and a good tight fit there, so I really like that. So do be aware it's a little bit tricky to get on there, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. But it has a really nice solid seal. You can feel that it's really sealing everything. So we'll let this dry and I'll see you in 8 hours. All right, so here we are on Fixdry's website, and this is where you go to order one of these, and you see the 2 filament spools in there, but you can also buy 2 of these, so you can have up to 4, or you can buy 4 of these for 8 of those. So if you have 2 AMSs like me and you want to do a 8 color print with these, you can do that. For me, I think the double one is enough. For some of you that really use a lot of ABS or a lot of these materials that need drying, you might need this double one there. But I've been really impressed. It's almost done drying now. Some of the key things that I thought were really cool is it's really easy to set the temperature. It's really easy to set the time. And it tells you how much humidity is in this chamber, so you can see that move. It's almost done now, and it went from 30 something down to around 19-20%. So I did see that it the humidity in here overall went down. So if you don't know how long you need to dry filament for, this would be a really good thing. You can set it for that max 12 hours or whatever, right? If it says 8 to 12, and after 8 hours you can start looking at it to see if the humidity is dropping anymore, and if it isn't, then you know that you've hit the right time on that. So really cool. I've been super impressed with this thing. I really like it. So far it's been very, very easy to use. It's super quiet. You can really tell that there's a really good seal here. It's really easy to use. It shows some of the 360 surround heating. And again, the big thing here, and I really like, they have a guide in their little manual or whatever that has all of this, but all of these temperatures are really easy to find and to see and everything. And if your filament, as we'll see with the filament that I'm using, my filament actually has a temperature and a time, so you can always set that. But if you don't know what that is, you can always refer back to this little guide, and there's a really easy little guide right in the first couple of pages of the manual as well, so that makes it super easy. But really, really impressed with this. If you've been looking for a filament dryer, this is definitely a really, really good one. This one works really, really well. So now let's take a look at the filament that we'll be using. All right, so the filament that we'll be using today is the Bamboo Lab PLA carbon fiber, reinforced PLA. And I thought it would be cool to do a print with this black and with this burgundy red that it has. And one of the things that gave me the idea for this video is this picture right here. And as you can see, there's PLA basic as well as the PLA carbon fiber mixed together in a print. And you'll see that on both sides, right? Here's PLA matte with the PLA carbon fiber in a multicolor print. So I thought it would be cool to do this, but the only issue is you have to dry, multiple, carbon fiber filaments, and it does recommend, and I do recommend that you dry these things. So it's cool to be able to dry 2 of them at once. I don't know if you can stack these up in the X1C or whatever, but it seems like that big giant chamber isn't the most sealed thing in the world, and I'm not sure that that's the most efficient way to dry it. But here's all the stuff on the PLA-CF and the differences between PETG, which both of them are really, really good. And then right here, recommended dry settings 55C for 8 hours. So that makes it easy to put that in there. So, look at whatever filament that it is that you need to dry, look at their recommended settings and see if there is, recommendations like there are on Bamboo Lab, and then put those in the filament dryer. And if not, just look at the guide in the filament dryer and go from there, and you'll be able to do that. So now let's go find a model that we can do a multicolor print with these 2 carbon fiber filaments. All right, so here we are in Bamboo Studio, and this is how it came through. So let's go ahead and update here. I should only have the 3 filaments loaded, nothing else in there. So let's resync this. And as you can see, we have the black, the red, and the white right here. We should be able to go to objects, and then Spider-Man words. I believe we know that wants to be 3. The face, we want that red, and then everything else black. Super cool. And we are going to be using the textured plate here, so we'll put this side down on the plate so we get that cool texture there. So how the easy way to do that is to select lie on face, which it's not giving me that option at the moment. There we are. I had to select the whole model. And this little thing right here says lie on face, and we're going to select this front face, and that will put it face down for us. We can unselect that. We'll go back to global settings. So since I hit the open in Bamboo Studio button, it went ahead and put this 0.16 optimal here, and doesn't look like it changed much else from there. But I haven't changed anything here from the settings that it came through from the model from hitting it in open in Bamboo Studio, which again, I really think that's one of the best parts of Maker World and Bamboo Studio is that you can do this. So let's go ahead and slice this and see how long it's going to take to print. All right, little over an hour to do everything. So we'll go ahead and print the plate. And since we're using the textured PEI plate, we don't need to do flow dynamics calibration, but we will do the time lapse so we can watch that. And we'll go ahead and send this to the printer. So I'll see you when it gets done. All right, so it did bring up this warning when I hit print. This is new. It's been a while since I printed with the bamboo carbon fiber. But I did do glass fiber here recently, but it is saying that carbon fiber and glass fiber filaments are hard and brittle and can get stuck in the AMS. And I don't think I've had carbon fiber, but I've had plenty of other filaments break inside of the AMS, and I'm a master at taking that thing apart and putting it back together at this point. So I'm totally okay with this. So it is giving a warning, and it does say it twice, which is kind of weird here. But it is giving a warning of a harder, more brittle filaments can get stuck in the tubes of the AMS. If you've taken your AMS apart a few times, you're probably pretty comfortable with this. If you're brand new and don't want to take your AMS apart, it's really 2 screws and 2 little wire plugs in the back, and then all of the tubes are like quick disconnect and everything. It's on the easier side of DIY stuff if you have to take this thing apart. So it is giving us a warning about these things getting stuck in there. The other thing you might want to be careful with is some of these carbon fiber and glass fiber filaments are really rough, and they'll wear out the PTF tubing in the AMS as well. So I like to run everything through kind of the same tubes here, these first couple of tubes, and that way those are the ones that I pay extra special attention to, and that way I don't have to really worry about all of them. But these are things that you should be checking in your 3-month maintenance anyway. But yeah, they can break and get stuck in there, and I think we've all seen that and had to deal with that at some point. If you're new, you're going to have to deal with it. It's not just with carbon fiber, glass fiber. So by not printing with these, you're not going to get around stuff getting stuck in the AMS. It's just going to happen. But be mindful of this warning. Be mindful that this stuff can break and get stuck in the AMS, and as well, it might wear out the PTF tubing a little bit faster than other stuff. So I'm totally okay with all of this, and I'll go ahead and hit confirm and let it print. All right, so take a look at this coaster. Wow, it turned out amazing. What's really cool is the texture of it and everything. It's very lightweight, and you would never know that there's PLA basic carbon fiber filament in here. It worked perfectly. You can see in the back side everything printed just fine, and it left a really, really cool texture on there. So if you've been looking to do multicolor prints with filaments that need drying, then definitely get this Fixdry filament dryer. This thing works really, really good. It dried the filament. The print turned out amazing. It's really, really cool that it shows the humidity afterwards and while it's drying and all of that, so you can figure out what you need to do to dry your filament, and you can do 2 rolls at a time, which is awesome. So I hope today's video helped you guys out and helped inspire you for your next project. If it did, smash that like button. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos. And be sure to send me an email of your cool prints that you're printing out, and join us for our live stream on Saturday evening. So I hope everybody has a good week, and I appreciate everybody watching. Thanks. Have a good one. Thank you.